Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. This time, we're going to try and accelerate your learning by diving into Daniel Coyle's research on talent development. You want to get better at something you're passionate about, right? Well, today we're going to see if we can help unlock that for you.
And we're going to break down the science behind skill development so it's easy to understand. But more importantly, easy to apply to your own life.
We've got a stack of Coyle's work right here, ready to distill the most important pieces for you, uncovering the secrets of talent hotbeds, the science behind myelin, and deep practice techniques that can change how you learn.
And it all starts with a question that's intrigued people forever. Is talent born or made? Coyle tackles this head-on.
He does.
Taking us to some pretty unexpected places.
Yeah, like those chicken wire Harvards he talks about. Tiny Caribbean islands dominating baseball. Or a small village in England, 3 world-class writers came from there. What's in the water there?
It's not about the water, or even just genes and environment. Coyle found that these talent hotbeds, they share something crucial. How people practice.
Deep practice.
That's it.
Okay, so what makes deep practice different from just regular practice?
Coyle talks about this clarinet student, Clarissa. She made a month's worth of progress in just 6 minutes using deep practice techniques. What was so special about her approach?
Most of us practice to get things right, to feel good about our abilities. Deep practice is different.
How so?
It's about pushing yourself to the edge of your ability, where you're going to make mistakes, feel awkward, maybe even a little frustrated.
So it's about embracing the messiness of learning.
Yes.
I like that.
And that's powerful, because when you practice that way, you strengthen neural pathways in your brain.
Oh.
And that brings us to myelin.
Myelin. This is where the science gets really interesting. Tell us about it.
Imagine the wiring in your house. The more insulation, the faster and more efficiently the electricity flows. Myelin is like insulation for nerve fibers in your brain, those pathways that carry signals.
So the thicker the myelin, faster and more accurately those signals travel.
Yeah.
I'm with you so far. And that means better skill, better performance. Think of a musician's lightning-fast finger work or an athlete's reaction time. Myelin at work.
So how do we get more myelin? Are we stuck with what we're born with?
That's what's so exciting. Myelin isn't fixed. It grows.
It grows.
In response to deep practice, the more we fire those neural circuits, the more myelin we build, the better we get at what we're practicing.
So it's not about some predetermined limit. It's about the work you put in. This is big. It's not just talent. It's our ability to learn and grow our whole lives.
Exactly.
I love that.
And Coyle gives us techniques to make that growth happen faster, more effectively.
Okay, let's get into those techniques. What are the secrets of deep practice that we can use today?
Coyle outlines 3 key techniques, common to all those talent hotbeds. The first one, chunking. Like learning a new language. You don't try to memorize the entire dictionary at once, right? You break it down into chunks. Focus on verbs, nouns, phrases. Then you gradually build from there.
Okay, so breaking down complex skills into smaller pieces, does that apply to other skills too?
Absolutely, like learning an instrument, mastering software, or even perfecting a sales pitch. You can apply chunking to all of that.
You break it down, master the smaller chunks,
Yeah.
and then put it all together.
Got it.
What's the second technique?
It's all about practicing with purpose, not just mindless repetition. It's focused effort, aimed at your weaknesses, being your own mistake detective.
I like that. Mistake detective. So instead of getting discouraged by errors, you use them as feedback.
Yeah. Coyle gives this example of volleyball players. Skilled players, they could really accurately assess how they did, see where they needed to improve. Less skilled players, they blame their mistakes on luck.
Interesting. So it's about taking ownership of your learning process, not just going through the motions, but actively analyzing where you're going wrong and why.
That's it.
Okay, makes sense. What's the third technique?
This one's about feeling it, paying attention to the subtle sensations. When you're practicing correctly, when you're making progress.
That sounds a little like mindfulness. Being present in the moment, noticing tiny adjustments that make you better.
It is like mindfulness. Think about a baby learning to walk. They're wobbly, they fall down, but they keep going, constantly adjusting, feeling their way forward.
I love that image. So we've got chunking, practicing with purpose.
Yeah.
And feeling it. These sound great, but how do we actually put them into practice in our busy lives?
Well, first you have to identify your sweet spot.
Sweet spot.
The zone just beyond your current abilities, where it's challenging, Not overwhelming.
Not too easy, not too hard.
Right. Too easy and you're not growing. Too hard and you get frustrated and quit.
Finding that Goldilocks zone of learning.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it.
Then break down skills into micro chunks. Focus on mastering a single musical phrase, perfecting one function in your code, nailing one step in your presentation.
Instead of getting overwhelmed by the whole thing?
Yeah, just focus on those smaller pieces.
And build from there.
Build those myelin-coded pathways. And don't forget to be a mistake detective. Analyze your errors, ask for feedback, and use it to get better.
This is great. I feel more motivated already. But sometimes motivation is the hardest part. How do we stay motivated, especially when things are tough?
That's where ignition comes in. Deep practice builds the skill, but ignition provides the fuel, the passion, the drive to keep going. And we're all wired with a powerful motivational system, triggered by certain cues.
Primal cues.
Right.
You know, those little things that tap into our desire to belong, to feel safe, to master something. Tell me about those primal cues. What can spark that fire?
Think about Pak, the South Korean golfer. She inspired a whole generation of girls to start playing golf.
Wow.
Her win at the U.S. Women's Open in 1998, it sent a powerful message. If she can do it, I can do it too.
It's that feeling of, I can achieve this too.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing someone like you succeed, doing something amazing, that's powerful.
It is. And there's Andrew Jones, a young baseball player from Curacao. He hit 2 home runs in the 1996 World Series, and that sparked a Little League boom on the island.
Everyone wanted to be a baseball star.
That's right.
I get it. Role models and moments of greatness, they show us what's possible.
Yeah, and it's not just individual inspiration. Coyle also talks about community, the power of community. He highlights these Kikai Peace schools. They've had amazing results with students from low-income communities.
Why so?
They created a culture.
Yeah.
Where college is expected.
Not just a possibility,
Wow.
but expected.
Yeah.
So it's more than just telling kids they can go to college. It's about creating an environment for success.
Exactly, where everyone supports each other.
I see.
And that brings us to another important piece, master coaches.
The master coaches.
The people who can guide us on our deep practice journey.
What makes a master coach different from a regular coach? We've all had teachers and mentors who've helped us. What makes the master coaches special?
Yeah, it feels like we're talking about more than just giving instructions or drilling techniques. It's deeper than that.
It is. Master coaches, they don't just teach you stuff. They're like talent whisperers.
Talent was they sense what the student needs, give really specific feedback, and cultivate a growth mindset.
So they need that technical expertise.
Yeah.
And emotional intelligence.
Uh-huh.
They connect with you, understand you, help you find your path.
That's it.
Coyle talks about Tom Martinez, Tom Brady's early mentor. He wasn't just teaching Brady how to throw a football.
Right.
He was helping him develop mentally.
His resilience, his belief.
And look at Brady now, one of the greatest quarterbacks.
Exactly.
So a master coach is like a guide,
Yeah.
a mentor,
Mm-mm.
someone who believes in you, even when you don't believe in yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
This has been incredible. We've covered so much. Myelin, deep practice, ignition, master coaches, a whole new way to think about talent and learning.
And the best part, it's not just theory. These are things anyone can use,
That's what I like to hear.
no matter your age, background, skill level.
So listener, if you want to take your learning to the next level, remember, talent isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Through deep practice, find your sweet spot, break things down, become a mistake detective, and feel it.
Don't forget to feel it.
Right.
And you don't have to do it alone. Find those primal cues that light your fire. Find a master coach. Surround yourself with people who support you.
I love that. Before we go, one last thought. We talked about primal cues, those sparks of motivation. What is your primal cue, listener? What image, what story, what experience could fuel your deep practice?
Think about it. Once you find that spark, you tap into real power.
That's a great point. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into accelerated learning. We hope you learned something and that you're feeling inspired to take your skills to the next level. Until next time, happy learning, everybody.